Hi, this is Corey Huey, and I'm joined with Dustin Eagle in recruiting today, and we are going to be your host for this podcast. This is episode 78. We've got another great topic for you today, and today we're going to talk about women in trucking, or the lack of women in trucking, and get a take from one of our female owner-operators and kind of get her perspective on the trucking industry. We got this idea from one of our current female owner-operators, Miss Kim Umpress, and thought it was a good idea. So we like to bring relative content to you guys. So I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Definitely encourage your feedback on the stuff and let us know if there's, a topic that you want to hear or want us to discuss. So with that, I'll turn over to Dustin to kind of talk about our Oakley update for this week.
Okay. This week on Oakley's update, we got a few topics we'd like to go over this week with you. First one, we're seeing a lot of automatic transmissions these days, especially in these newer trucks. So what we want to we're all learning together on this. We really want to be cautious when, our current owner-operators are trading trucks. We want to make sure they're PTO compatible. So it's very important that you call us with that information so we can get you in touch with the shop, and make sure we sure don't want you to buy something and get here and find out we can't put a PTO on it.
Right.
So we definitely want to be, make everybody aware of where we're at on that. We've seen a couple here in the last few weeks we've had problems with.
Sure have.
And we're sure trying to eliminate that. So just be aware. And if anybody's out there listening that's buying a truck to come to Oakley, please be aware too. Just call the recruiting department, and we can direct you. If we don't know the answer, we'll get you an answer. Next one is, here at Oakley we've got basically 4 different divisions. If you really want to get down to it, we've got hopper bottoms, the end dump division, straight pneumatic, and vacuum pneumatic. And we always want you to be aware that swapping divisions is an option here. If you're pulling a hopper and you've been doing it a while, and you might be tired of that one division, or you just want to move up. It's definitely an option here at Oakley. You just call us and we can get you with the right people and see if it's a good, decision for you. So definitely call us if you're thinking about swapping divisions. We're always needing, someone on every division here. And next, we want to, I think we give a shout out to one of our owner operators every week, and just kind of want to recognize this week Freddie Baker. He's been here with Oakley for 10 years. He's truck number 8800. Drives a 2018 KW W9, pulls a vac tank for us, and does a fantastic job. Freddie was actually on one of our earlier podcasts. You probably heard him. And just a great guy, does a tremendous job for the company, and we just want to give him a shout-out real quick and say thank you, Freddie.
Let's hear from our sponsor, Arrow Truck Sales. Go see Keith Wilson and Trey Visor at Arrow Truck Sales in Springfield, Missouri. Over the past 8 years, Arrow has built a great working relationship with Oakley Trucking. They specialize in getting new owner-operators approved for trucks and upgrading existing ones. Carrying a wide selection of all makes and models, they pride themselves with helping customers through every step of buying a used truck, including service after the sale. Listen to new Oakley owner-operator and Arrow customer Sean McMahon.
Yeah, it's my first time being an owner-operator, so it was first for me, and they made it real easy for me. I wound up getting a 2018 579 Pete with the Cummins 450 and a 13-speed. I worked hauling cars for 15 years, and I've been driving about 23 years. Yeah, I would send everybody I know to Mr. Keith over there at Arrow Truck Sales. I've had a really good experience with him, and first kind of guy.
When you go see Arrow Truck Sales in Springfield, Missouri, tell them you heard this ad on the Oakley Podcast, and they will give you half off your first payment when financing through transport funding. Give Keith Wilson and Trey Visor a call at 573-216-6047.
All right, so let's get into the topic of today's podcast. And joining us on the podcast today is Miss Alisha Leard.
Yes.
How are you doing today, Alisha?
I'm doing well. Thank
Good.
you for asking.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Before we dive too far into this, we always like to get just a little information about our guest. So if you would, just kind of give us a little introduction of you and your family, where you're from.
I have 3 daughters, 3 grandbabies, 2 son-in-laws.
Oh, wow.
And I'm from Northwest Arkansas.
Okay.
I grew up there.
Great.
We're at in Northwest Arkansas.
I grew up in Farmington.
Okay, right there,
By
Fayetteville area.
Mhm.
Great.
Currently, now you're living here in Central Arkansas now,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. Does all your daughters and granddaughters or
They
grandkids live here or up in?
I have 2 here and 2 in one in Northwest Arkansas.
Okay.
Actually, my two daughters, my oldest and my youngest, live up in Northwest Arkansas.
Okay.
I was talking about grandbabies.
As far as your background of, trucking, what decided, when did you get into trucking?
Single mom, working 3 jobs, and I figured, hey, I'd make more driving a truck than I would working 3
Okay.
jobs trying to raise 3 girls.
Yeah. When was that? How long? when
That
did you
was
get into
11
it?
years ago.
11 years ago.
Mhm.
So you've been doing it a while.
Yeah,
Great.
And you've been here since
19.
2019
Mm-hmm.
and pull a pneumatic tank for us.
Yes.
You like pulling a pneumatic?
Yes, I do. When I first started with another company, pulling pneumatic, I was told I couldn't, because I was, 20 pounds lighter. Or
Yeah.
They didn't think I could handle it.
So what'd you first start out doing in trucking?
Dry van.
First job? Dry van?
Yeah.
Okay.
53-foot trailer.
Doing company truck?
Hmm Then I
Okay.
went to liquid food grade tanking.
Okay. And that was Oakley Transport, correct?
That was Wine Rich
Okay.
out of Hinton, Iowa.
Great.
Yeah.
So you drove a dry van, then went to liquid tank,
Yeah.
and then
Loved it.
great. How long
So-
were you over there doing that?
3 years with Wine Rick, and then I went to Oakley Transport. They paid more.
Well,
in that department. They were a small company with 50 trucks. Wine Rich was, but I liked
yeah. And now you're home.
making more
You're
money.
now you're at Oakley Trucking. Now you're at
Yeah.
home.
Oh yeah. Now I love this place. So this is my home now.
I know, when we were talking about doing this podcast, I started trying to pull up a little research on just some stats on women in trucking, and there's a couple different percentages out there, but I think that 7 to 8% range is what I found as far as in the trucking industry, women drivers. So that's pretty low.
Pretty low, pretty small percentage.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Yep. It was hard being a woman and having 3 kids, and then coming over the road because you have no one to help, and it was harder to do that. But my mom and dad was there for me.
Is anybody in your family trucking?
I had my mom's brothers owned their own trucks, and I remember seeing the big black Pete sitting in the
Right.
driveway. So it was interesting growing up. I was a farm girl,
Okay.
so I
Okay.
grew up on a farm. It was Chicken Holler in Northwest Arkansas. Yeah,
a bunch of
no.
that going on up
Yeah.
there for sure. When we think about women in the industry, I mean, we've got women in safety here, women in dispatch, payroll, accounting. And we even had a prior episode. I don't know if you listened to this one. It's been 5 or 6 episodes ago, but we had the president of the Arkansas Trucking Association, Miss Shannon Newton. She's a female, obviously. So, but there's just not a whole lot of women drivers, and even I would say even more specifically than that, owner operators.
It's a little harder to get to work in a man's world.
Right. Yeah.
It's really hard to integrate yourself into that
Sure.
and still be a lady.
Right. Well, the stereotypical truck driver is a, white male, kind of like our dads, our grandpas type of, you think about the old, Smoking the Bandit, Convoy, all these old shows that are out there, and it's just there's just no women in any of these. So
Except for in the passenger seat.
right,
Yeah. You know, just something that interests me, Alisha, what are some of the challenges you faced starting in trucking? I mean, did you, when you first started, did you love it, or did you like, what am I doing?
Yeah, well, yeah, I loved it. I was used to hard work being on a farm. So I kind of liked the challenge. And it never crossed my mind that I couldn't do it, so I just did it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
and we've got, counting Alisha, we've got, I did some research because I didn't know, but we have 10
Really?
women owner-operators that are leased here. And I wrote them all down, just kind of give them some recognition. We've got Alisha, and we've got Miss Carol Ball, Teresa Thompson, Cindy Weatherford, Kelly Williams, Kim Umpress that I mentioned that wanted us to do this podcast, Adria Crotwell, Shelley Orleans, Virginia McCormick, Denise Murray, and then also threw Mary Luker in there. I know
She was a
Miss Mary Luker.
was
Were you
great.
here? Have you been here since Mary was here? Do you?
I think I've heard of her.
Okay.
But
She was here for 16, 17 years with us. She retired a couple of years ago. But, yeah, she pulled a pneumatic with us, too.
That's awesome.
But, yeah. Great.
Yeah, we sure like to thank every one of those for what they do for us, and we're lucky to have them. Back to you, Alisha. Just kind of want to, some different things. Being a female out on the road, by yourself, do you, it's one big question I think we all got is, do you feel safe out there? I mean,
Yeah.
you're like you said, you're out in most of the time in a man's world,
Yeah.
and
You
it's
learn-
just you.
You learn to hide. I learned to hide. You just don't put yourself out there like you would if you're in your hometown. You learn to do things differently, like not walk around at night and when it's dark, and stay in your truck.
Sure. Just a
Just be
little,
safe.
just got to do a little bit,
Know your
some things just a
surroundings.
little different.
Yeah, I did have one crackhead open my door when I was in Florida. Yep, I screamed like SpongeBob. I think I scared him too. So
I've seen, I'm sure y'all have all seen them videos where they run the seatbelt through the door and latch it back into the.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have safe
I-
measures that you
I
do
don't.
for any of that stuff?
no, I don't. I just have my hammer.
Uh,
It's a tool. You can take it into Canada.
Absolutely.
yeah, and, that's one thing I think about it, and I think that's probably why a lot of you don't see a lot of female drivers. I'm sure some of them
Yeah.
don't want to be out there alone, and it's just
Yeah, I mean the perception of truck driver is not. It's not always glamour and it's dirty. It can be, work involved. So I mean, it may not appeal to a lot of women. But in today's age, talking about automatic transmissions, I mean that's one big thing. Is your truck an automatic? Do you drive?
The one I just bought is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you prefer that over a standard, or do you have a preference?
I don't have a preference, but I enjoy in a backup
Right.
traffic. I do enjoy that automatic.
I would think that would kind of appeal to maybe, not only women, but the younger generation. Trucks nowadays are a lot nicer than probably the old Peterbilt that you're talking about that you remember growing up seeing. I mean,
I'm still learning to maintain my speed going down a hill with an automatic. Trying to get it to stay where I want it, it's a little
Yeah.
harder. It's where I prefer my standard.
In your opinion, why do you think there's a lack of women in this industry? Just kind of want to get your perspective from it. Why do you think there's only 7% of women in trucking?
A lot of them don't think they can do it.
Just
A lot of them,
self-confidence?
yeah, maybe the self-confidence, or maybe their home life won't permit it. But I think if, they had the situation was different, maybe they would probably get out here and do it.
Yeah,
So-
there's probably a lot out there, like you say, that want to do it, that just never take that step like you did.
And I talked to a lot of people, like in when you go get your meals in a truck stop, the cashier will say, "You really drive a truck?" And I say, "Yeah." And she says, "Well, isn't it hard?" And I was like, "It's not as hard as you think." She goes, "Well, I thought I would like to do it." And I was like, "If you want to, do it. Anybody can do it. It's not just for big men. It's for us short people, too."
Right. Well, you just got to have the want to, I think.
Yeah,
and you got
the determination, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
And, the money's pretty good, too. I mean, there's you can make a good living.
Yes, that's what attracted me. 'Cause that's really what I wanted, a goal to.
Sounds like the drive of your 3 girls kind of made you step out there and take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
You wanted to provide for them.
I did.
And,
I wanted a home of my own, so.
Yeah, well, great.
Is there anything that you feel like you struggle with?
People don't listen to me.
Okay.
I've had.
Just no respect, or you don't?
Well, for instance, I went to a customer and they were trying to get me to put their vent bag on my load pipe. And I told them I can't do that. I won't be able to pressurize my tank. I have to pressurize my tank for it to go in. It's just going to fight each other. And they wouldn't listen to me, so I did it the way they told me, and it took 4 hours for them to realize I was right. But I was patient. I didn't want to yell. It was a customer. Right. I guess I have a little more patience than most people.
I could see that. I mean, it's not right, but I could definitely see it.
They look at me and think, well, she's just a woman. She don't know what she's talking about. But I've proved them wrong. So.
Right.
There you go. Been proven wrong for 11 years now. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else that you struggle with as far as maybe physical part of the job? I think that's probably one aspect too.
Right.
It's really. I've been out there trying to fix things before, and it's been a little difficult.
Uh-huh.
But determination pretty much gets in a couple of bruises.
Do you do any of your own maintenance, or do you have shops do that?
I do mainly shops. I can do some things, but not like an own.
That's where I
people.
would struggle too. I think. I mean, I would be a horrible truck driver to begin with, just because I don't like long, trips. But just the maintenance side. I mean, I feel like, to be a good, successful driver, I mean, you need to know some basic stuff. Mm-hmm. And I can change the oil in my pickup and stuff like that, but just I don't have the hands-on knowledge.
Sure, absolutely.
Like,
there's too many working parts for me.
Man. Yeah, me too.
And when you come home off the road, you don't want to spend most of your time working on your truck.
Right.
That's a good point.
So it's easier to pay somebody.
Where do you find your support? Do y'all have like a support, like a women's group or anything else like that?
No,
You ever been curious one was out there? I mean, you ever try to look for one or anything?
No, I've never knew if there was one. I've never looked for one. I just you make friends out there on the road, people that pretty much can become like a big brother type thing. And you get, insight and stuff from them and learn learn the craft even better.
Well, I think that's what's good about Oakley Trucking. We are a family, and there's a lot of great owner-operators here. Yeah. And I know you have a lot of friends over here.
Yeah.
A lot of buddies that came here before you and came after you.
Yeah.
And
some I recruited.
Exactly.
So you've recruited several over here, I know.
Yeah.
That's where Oakley comes. I mean, we're a big family. Everybody's going to help everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
And
you got a lot of people that can.
That's why we got the best owner-operators that out there, and it shows.
And talking about that support group, there is a Women in Trucking organization out there. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I was actually listening to some of their videos, and I was at a conference here in Alabama a few months ago, and the president, Ellen Voy, I believe is how you pronounce her last name, but the president and founder of it, and they've been around since 2007, I think, and it's just, kind of a lot of the same stuff we're talking about here, ways to get women involved in the trucking industry, especially right now with the driver shortage.
Exactly.
I mean, we could use 10 or 15 more Alishas. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I wish we had a lot more.
It's funny. You can almost look back in history too, like when World War II was happening. All the men were over in Europe fighting and everything else. Women were the ones that actually had to pick up the slack in this country, and when they did all that, like they got the empowerment of working in these steel factories and everything else, these jobs that they were supposedly not for. You know, like what he's saying right now with the shortage. You know, this could be a great time for women to actually have the call to, hey, you know, we need you. I mean,
Yeah.
like if there was ever a time for it.
I tried to get my daughter interested.
What did she say?
No. I said, if you ever feel homeless or you don't feel like you can, I mean, you have a home, right? Just a bed 3 feet away.
Yeah.
Just get in there and start working.
Yeah, and that brings up another question. You know, so I guess your answer would be yes to this, but would you encourage other females to get into the trucking industry?
Oh, yeah.
And if so, why?
You know, maybe give them some encouraging words, you know, coming from you, your experiences. Just
Yeah.
kind of tell us why you would encourage them to do that.
Well, there's more freedom. You get to visit different places, see many things, and experience a different network of people, friends, and it's pretty cool.
What's the coolest place you've been to since you've been?
Well,
in
he was
trucking?
talking about the museum. I visited the museum where they built, you know, over there in San Francisco.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was stuck at a customer's, and they walked me down to the museum and the people, the engineers that worked there. And I got to, you know, sit through and listen to the history of the women coming in and working and building ships. That
That
was
is pretty cool.
cool.
You know, one last thing, you know, I was kind of wanting to go through a typical day in the world of Alisha Leard. From the time you wake up in the morning, you know, take us through a day of trucking.
A
you
day
know.
of trucking.
Yeah, this typical, you know, just normal day.
Well, getting up and getting dressed and opening the curtains and finding out where you parked your truck the night before. Because you know, I don't know what, you wake up in a different world every day.
Mhm.
But, and then doing your pre-trip and, you know, getting on the road and starting
Yeah.
driving and enjoying the weather if it's nice, and then
Yeah.
cursing a little bit if it's not.
Yeah, I just think it might be interesting. I find it interesting in all of our drivers, but you know, it's amazing what y'all do every day. I could not wake up in the morning and drive 600 miles a day every day. You know,
That's the fun part.
it just amazed me when I was dispatching.
Mm.
You know, you dispatch someone on a load, and you come in the next morning and he's sitting at the customer,
Mm.
and it's like, wow, he just did that since I've been gone. You know, and it's, you know, you got to give all hats off, and I respect you for taking that leap 11 years ago, and I'm glad you did, because you wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
That's right.
And,
thank you.
I sure do encourage every woman that has that, you know, dream out there to do that. Just take the leap. You know, you can
bet.
see it's been very successful for Alisha, and we sure would love, like Corey said, a lot more female owner operators here.
You bet.
I mean, we have 10, and we have around 830 trucks. So that kind of goes along with the percentage in trucking.
percentage,
It's
yeah.
about 7%.
What did you do before trucking?
Well, I was a school bus. I started out in being a mail carrier, well, banking before mail carrier. Then went to a mail carrier and drove a school bus. And then from a school bus to raising my kids, it was hard to find something that I could work around. But I would drive a school bus in the morning, park my bus, to get in my mail Jeep to go deliver mail, come back, drive my kids home.
Salary comparison between then and now. I mean, can you imagine going back to that kind of lifestyle?
No. I mean, I enjoy seeing different places. You're opened up. You get to see what's really going on out there. It's kind of fun. It is a little scary when you break down and there's nobody around, but you learn to handle it.
Gonna do a little trivia question for you.
Okay.
When do you think the first female driver, I guess, basically started driving? When do you think it was? What year?
What year?
How long ago you think that was?
1968. I don't know.
I'll say 45. 1945.
There you go,
No.
70s.
1918.
1918.
Wow.
Name was Luella Bates.
Oh wow.
She is believed to be the first licensed woman truck driver.
Luella Bates.
And yeah, that's pretty.
1918. Wow.
Pretty. I didn't know that. She was driving. Looks like Model B's. Four-wheel drive for a four-wheel drive auto company.
Hmm.
Interesting.
So it's pretty interesting that first licensed driver was in 1918, and here we are in 2021.
Does it say what she drove?
Well, it says that she was she drove a Model B to New York City, where she attended the New York Auto Show. She pretty much was just kind of did a little bit of everything as for this four-wheel drive company, driving different vehicles from state to state. And
that kind of falls in line to that World War
Yes.
era,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
While the men were out fighting, they needed some delivery
Gotta have it.
drivers, so I'm sure that's probably where some of that came from. So.
thought that'd be a cool little trivia question, because I sure didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And Miss Alisha, you got anything that else you'd like to say out there to anyone?
Oh. Well, I would like to meet the other 10 ladies that work here,
Okay, yeah.
because I think that's pretty cool. I've only met one, but I didn't know there was any more.
We can get you a list of these with some numbers.
Phone numbers if you want to contact them.
Yeah, or you can give them mine and they can contact me if they
Okay.
want to.
Sure.
That way they wouldn't feel pressured. But
You
yeah,
bet.
I'd like to talk to them and meet them.
Okay. Yeah, we can sure do that.
I'd love to have you guys back and let y'all meet on the show. That would be something.
Oh, yeah,
I guess
that
you
would
guys
be.
coordinate a time, come here, sit down and talk about all y'all's experiences.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of also maybe want to touch on, I don't think we did, but why you chose Oakley Trucking.
Mm-hmm.
You know? What made you choose Oakley, first of all, and kind of get that story too a little bit.
Well, my story is that I was playing around on YouTube and I saw one of your videos,
Okay.
and I started watching them and looking through them, and that's what interested me, is owning my own truck, and I never thought I could do that before. It was more of a, and I've heard everybody that's come over to Oakley has a very high success rate of,
Mhm.
the best success rate of starting up and continuing.
Being a first-time owner operator.
Yeah. So when I left, I encouraged the ones that I recruited to follow.
Yeah.
So,
And that's a big challenge in itself, going from company driver to an owner operator.
It was a little shock.
I'm sure that was a huge step in your life.
when I first, during orientation, I think I about had several hyperventilation moments, but yeah.
What was your first truck over here?
2014 Freightliner Cascadia.
Okay.
It was a mid-roof. And
what you just bought a new one, so what is your new one now?
it's a 2019 Mack Anthem.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Pretty proud.
Yeah, I like it.
Those pink decals on there.
Yes, I
I've seen
do. My gray and pink, yep. I really wanted a purple Pete, but that's okay. I like what I got.
That'd be next.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's just some background. I just, wanted to hear your story behind what made you choose Oakley and
Yeah, we was flipping through YouTube.
flipping through YouTube.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, I saw a video and started listening to them. So that's what I decided.
And
I wasn't really happy in my other job,
Yeah.
but I made the right choice. I really am happy that I did come over here.
Great. We're glad to have you.
We are.
Yep.
Yeah, and here in a couple of weeks, you can flip back on YouTube and
Yeah.
watch
Watch
this
yourself.
episode right here. Cause we're
Oh.
all right. Well, man, that's all I had. Alisha, I appreciate you being on the show with us today. Thanks for taking time out of your day.
Absolutely.
pleasure.
To come
Thank
up
you for being
and
here.
visit with us. And that's going to wrap up this episode, guys. Again, if you've got any show ideas for us, shoot us an email or a text or give us a call here at the office, and we'd sure love your feedback on some ideas that you might have on upcoming episodes. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.